All right, friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. Our YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related, and we remain dedicated to helping you fellows conquer and dominate your game in Bannerlord through the use of advanced tactics, right? We are going to do some field command tactics in Keep Siege. We are going to defend the city of Sargot. Sargot is a Vlandian city that's very near the borders of war, right? It's very near the Asteroid Kingdom, very near the Imperials, and sometimes will be attacked by Britannia as well. Now, we're using all Tier 3 units there. I kind of blazed through that to show you as fast as possible. Everybody's in a hurry these days, so we're going to do this pretty quickly. Now, the first battle here, we're going to let the sergeants be in charge, right? Basically, we're just a soldier on the field just to show you how inadequate the AI is. Incidentally, if your commander ever says that your grand strategy is to prevent the enemies from getting inside the walls, you have an idiot in charge, right? You have a dipshit simpleton with no concept of how to defend. That's what the AI is doing here, and appropriately, they are being destroyed, right? Stupid commanders get defeated in battle. This has been true for history throughout the years, and that's the case with Bannerlord. It's trying to use its sharpshooters on the walls here, but of course they don't take cover. Now, they're not doing terribly. They're scoring some kills, but they're about to get massacred. Why? Because this force coming in on them is the Aserai, and they have a huge amount of these javelins sticking out of their back. I don't know if you guys could see that. I'm trying to show you up close. Now that they're within javelin range, and it's all over for the defenders on the wall. Because in addition to all these arrows, look at this hail of deadly darts. Every single one of those is a lethal javelin, and suddenly your crossbow that were already taking a beating on the wall get completely exterminated. We'll watch these guys just get mown down here, shot with arrows, and then of course an occasional javelin right between the eyes. That sharpshooter is no more. So that's a failed strategy. This also doesn't work particularly well when you're outnumbered, right? We're outnumbered 3-1 here, and the defenders on the walls are in a worse hail almost than the attackers outside, right? You just don't want to let the AI do this and keep siege. They're doing their very darndest here to plug up the gap, although unfortunately you can see the dipshittery has contagion all the way down to the foot troops here. These fucking guys are literally facing the wrong way. Now, the front gate is heavily guarded, right? There's a whole bunch of troops down there, but you could see already they're doing that at the expense of the defenders on the wall up here, right? There's now a huge breach on the left side of the keep. Most of your archers are already dead, or your crossbow in this case. The AI is desperately trying to rally reinforcements here, but it's too late, right? The enemy is now pouring up the siege tower, and to do that, they obviously weakened the main gate. So this is what happens, of course, if you let the sergeant be in charge of a defensive Sargot. You're outnumbered 3-1, and it looks like we're going to obtain about a 2-1 kill ratio, which means you lose, right? The city gets sacked, all your maidens get carried away, and they marry Aserai lords, and life ends miserably ever after. Right? Please don't let the sergeant be in charge of the defense of Sargot. So you fledgling commanders out there, just follow what we're going to do here, right? We're going to actually decrease the amount of defenders in this situation to make it harder, just to show you that even with less troops, if you have a good tactical plan, you can still massacre the enemy. Now, I've got these stairways I'm considering using here. Of course, I have vast experience defending sieges, but you just never know when I run these. Of course, I narrate these live how exactly I'm going to try to defend. I like the concept of having a shield wall line of crossbow, an elite group of them over here, sharpshooters. That way, they're packed tightly on these stairs, and of course, they'll be able to fire down into the ranks of the enemy as they come up the stairs. Now, they're vulnerable, right? They will be attacked by infantry on the wall. That's why I'm selecting higher level crossbow for this instance. I'm not sure actually how well that's going to work, but I think we'll be able to figure it out on the fly if it's not working particularly well. That's always the thing with Keep Siege, is you want to be able to adjust on the fly if things are not going well. Now I'm going to have, let's do 4 infantry divisions, and I'll break it down like this. I'm putting spear or polearm, shield, and high preference on 2 different divisions here. Actually, let's just do 1 division for the main gate. We'll have 2 lower tiered infantry divisions. Now, it's important to see that all of those divisions, the 1st, 2nd, and 4th, all have shields, and the 3rd does not. That way, the 3rd Division is shock troops, right? Guys with two-handed weapons. In Keep Siege, I like to use that as an attack division. If you're suffering a breach somewhere or the enemy's attacking your troops, your squares, you can send in your shock troops to annihilate the enemy. Now, at the main gate, we just want to have our square somewhere like that so that there's enough room for some of the enemy troops to sneak in a little bit and be vulnerable to crossbow fire. That is because, of course, we are going to defend the courtyard. We're not going to defend the walls at all. So a square over there as well, just guarding that stairway. And then I've got this 3rd Infantry Division. Not really sure actually where I want to put them. Let's just put them out of the way for now until we figure out what is vulnerable here. Now, this is something that I've just been experimenting with lately, and I have a huge amount of experience, so it's kind of interesting that this game is so complex that I'm still learning new little ideas this far into it. They're in a shield wall, which means they're incredibly tightly packed. However, as you will see at the start of the battle, that also means they won't shoot. Shield wall crossbow will just hold their shield up. I will show you how we're going to adjust for that. Now, this is the main killing pen right here, this upward slope leading down to the gate. And hence, because of that, I want to have the largest amount of crossbow firing down on the enemy. Right, that's 43 guys. Optimally, I'd like that to be even higher. Get even more crossbow there. And then I have this 7th Division, right? This is just an extra crossbow division of high-level crossbow. We'll stick them up there on that little platform. Those guys will be able to rain down death. Finally, what do I have here? I have the 5th. The 5th Division can be right over here, again, peppering anything that gets on the walls and or comes down these stairs at our men. And of course, they also shoot at guys coming through the gate. And now I want more guys than the 6th, so I'm just going to expand it. Right, the bottom line is that we're going to be doing the most damage right there because those troops are uphill looking down into the gatehouse. It reset this 8th Division. Sometimes that happens when you tinker with your different divisions. Anybody who's intimidated by the fact that we have 8 divisions, by the way, don't worry. We're not going to be moving these divisions once the battle starts. So think of this as like a very complicated recipe where you got to mix like 20 ingredients in the kitchen. But then the final step of the ingredient to bake, whatever it is that the recipe's for, is just to stick it all in a pan and stick it in the oven. That's what we're doing now, right? The ingredients are in place. Everything has been mixed together. And apart from a little bit of micromanagement, like right here, you don't have to do much. Now, notice they're holding their shield. That's because they're in a shield wall. So to fix that, I switch them to line formation, which is F2, and then F1. Right now, they're all in a line formation, and then quickly hit stop. And what that does is they will whip out their little crossbow, but still be tightly lined up like that. Right? I want those guys there for concentrated fire. All right, now any Keep Siege, of course, you're going to try to destroy some of their access, right? We're going to try to destroy a siege tower here. Although it occurs to me, right, sometimes you can't. Either you don't have catapults. So let's actually, I think we'll run this battle twice. The first battle here, we will intentionally destroy this siege tower, and the second one, we will not, right? We will intentionally leave the siege tower alone and show you how to deal with both situations. Now you can see the health there. It's really low already. So before I destroy it, I want to score some kills on those huge amount of troops that are packed in behind it, right? We're just going to lob a few fireballs in on the huge wedge of troops that's following the siege tower. Oops, there we hit just one of those little barriers. Okay, well, the other catapult did it for us. And obviously, we're going to fire in some catapults here to maximize the killing effect before the enemy gets here. Anytime you have fire catapults in a castle siege defense, you have a huge advantage. Now, it gets to a point, of course, where the troops are too close for you to use it, and then, of course, you're reverting to throwing them. I understand that for many of the players watching this is all elementary stuff. If there's somebody who's new, who's playing this, you need to understand that these fire catapults are lethal when thrown. Now, I can't get this catapult to shoot any closer. In other words, we're out of range for all the troops that are approaching the wall. So I'll take a shot or two more at these archers here, and then we're just going to lob a bunch of fireballs at the troops that are right next to the city here. Now, this is another important point, right? for our strategy here, there's actually no benefit to killing archers. And the reason is because they're not shooting anybody, right? Do you notice the archers, the enemy archers racking up kills? No, that's because all of our troops are protected behind our walls. Now here's another point. Look at the enemy stacking up behind the siege tower. Just be patient and wait, and eventually they will pack a little tighter for you, where you can be a lot more efficient with these fireballs. You see these fireballs are just scorching, like killing 15, 20 guys each throw, and then wounding another dozen. Let the enemy form into these fish balls for you to kill them, and then you can start doing your dirty work. Just a little something I've learned. Same thing with the siege ladders. Wait until they're actually climbing up the siege ladders and then do your job. All right, so these crossbow are being attacked, but it's okay, right? These guys have shields, they have swords, they're very capable units. Never had to sneeze before an episode here. It's fucking trying to make me... Thank goodness for the old mute button there. I don't want to sneeze in your guys' ears. It's funny. Sometimes you just... like I said, I narrate and play these live, and so sometimes you're going to sneeze right in the middle of battle. I wonder if anybody got killed, right? There's probably some king who ignominiously was about to strike down his foe, sneezed, and then he took a fucking sword between the face and got killed because he sneezed, right? The ignominy of getting killed while you sneeze. All right, so those crossbow are a little bit vulnerable over there. I'm actually just going to move this division over there up the stairs. Right now, we're not putting them on the walls, just the stairs to pull up the enemy troops. That way they're getting scorched and shot. And you see what's going on here, right? The enemy has absolutely zero chance of killing anybody. In fact, I don't even need to use our shock troops. The guys are just standing there. And that's it, right? That's the whole battle right there, sped up, of course, with the RTS command. A 20-to-1 kill ratio, despite the fact that we are outnumbered almost 4-to-1. The enemy has virtually no chance here. In fact, this is, based on my experience, one of the best cities in the whole game to defend, right? Sargot is, I mean, that was savage. All right, so let's try this one more time. Only this time, we will let their siege tower arrive, right? We will basically we will man that same fire catapult. Only this time, I'm going to purposefully not attack a siege tower, right? We will kill troops instead, and you can sort of simulate this as a worst case scenario. You're defending against a 4-to-1 gigantic Aserai force. You're penned against the wall. This is all the troops you have, and worse than that, both of their siege towers and their ram all arrive intact against their wall, right? How do you survive? Obviously, much of the same tactics I just showed you should work, right? And we will shift on the fly. We will make adjustments if necessary in case it doesn't work, right? We will there are levers you can pull, and hopefully a few things go wrong in this siege. That way I can show you kind of what you need to do when things go wrong, right? One of them is the 3rd Division, the shock troop units. I'm kind of hoping there's a breach here so we can use those guys. Or maybe there'll be something else that happens that forces us to be active with our troops. Now again, you notice that 3rd Corps, that's about the only unit we're really micromanaging. I did move one of these squares, just to help the crossbow a little bit. But you saw how easy that first siege was. Apart from doing a little bit of siege work at the beginning, which, with enough practice will be easy for you, it doesn't get much easier than that second battle. Move this fire catapult. I like this location over here. Some cities have better and worse angles. Some places are highly vulnerable, right? You want to become aware of whatever city you are defending, which spots are more vulnerable. Just like before, we tell these guys to line. No, not sergeants take control. What the hell is it doing that for? Get back here. All right, here's another point. If your troops aren't obeying you and the sergeant's in charge, tell them line formation and follow you. Sometimes the sergeants will do what's called scatter around, or they will try to scatter those units. And unfortunately, what happens there is you cannot maintain or gather control of those units until you shift them to line formation. So these disobedient guys, none of these guys get ale tonight. Clearly, these guys here need a little bit of sergeant drilling before the next siege. All right, so those guys are in a pretty good position there. We're going to grab this fire catapult, and like I said, we're going to intentionally avoid destroying the siege towers. Make sure, all right, the siege tower is in good health, and now we're just going to pound the troops around the edges of it. Incidentally, if you're a new player and you're not getting fire catapults, you know, you're not getting these explosive catapults when you're defending siege, that's because you don't have the requisite skill, or no commander inside that city or castle has the requisite skill. What skill am I talking about? You get these fire catapults with engineering at 150 points. You get the access to these fire catapults once you hit siege engineering. 150. So if you're playing the game and you don't understand why you don't have them, that's what's going on. All right, so I'm missing a few shots here. In fact, that one's going to go right over the top of their head. That's okay. I still don't think it matters. And in a way, this is good, right? Siege destruction. In fact, we're missing over and over again here with this kind of fire catapults is a little OP, right? The bottom line is that the game unfortunately lines up its troops and with a big fucking sign out there that says please kill me, and it's a way for you to get 100, maybe 200 kills every battle with virtually no risk. You can see I have no health or no injuries, not a single flesh wound yet. Now you see me waiting here again because I want these troops to pack up, right? You're really better off waiting. That first throw there was just basically an example of what you hit. I hit like 3 or 4 guys. Now we're hitting 20, 25, 30 guys. And again, the distancing, all of this stuff will just be something you get used to. Within 2 or 3 throws, or maybe 2 or 3 sieges, you will be getting down your distance and whatnot, and doing much better with fire catapults. All right, so we're out of these fire catapults. Let's get down in the courtyard and see what's going on here. See if our ingredients here bake a good cake. Oh shit. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to get out there, so we will go the other way. These insolent Asteroid pieces of shit are chasing after me, and look at the death spam, right? It's just sharpshooters and a hardened crossbow just destroying everything in sight. I'm not doing anything, right? It's not like I'm telling these troops to fight in a certain way, although we do have a problem over here. So I don't know where the square went. There was a square. The 2nd Division, I'm not sure how these guys got to order, but we're going to put this 2nd Division and we will reset them. This 3rd Division actually has been doing their job, right? These shock troops are happy to attack stuff, and so in this instance, they finally get some action. So we'll get that square reassigned. Also, this is a nice thing to do, right? You just move that 1st Division over a little bit. That lets more enemy troops come in. You want to be careful with this, though. If you let too many enemy troops in fact, we'll just move these crossbow down the stairs. If you let too many enemy troops come in, obviously you can have a major breach. What you want to do with that square is move it around to your custom needs. If they start pouring through the front gate, just simply move it back right towards the center of the gate to lessen how many troops get in. Now look how safe I am in here. I'm inside the square. I'm not moving at all. And of course, we're using the RTS mod here. The enemy's mass exterminated, trying to get to us. Wow, and there it is again, right? A complete destruction of this Asteroid force. Again, a 12-13 to 1 kill ratio, even though they had both siege towers. I'll show you. Both siege towers made it up here, and the enemy still just gets completely flattened. We get to go attend to our mistresses now in the central keep. Everybody thinks you're a genius, and you live happily ever after. All right, friends, if you've never checked out the channel before, you want to subscribe, you want to take a look, there's plenty more tactics like this on the channel. Please hit that like button. I appreciate you, fellas, and I will see you guys next time.